Coach, how much do you credit Russ for keeping you out of that lull in the third quarter?
Well, I credit all the guys. I mean, yeah, Russ was great tonight, but it's never just one person that ignites a break or a comeback. Obviously, we were down by 16 points at one time, and to Ryan's point, we lost another first quarter. But again, viewership is up. But yeah, I mean, Russ is 29, 6 and 6, and Nikola Jokic. I mean, that's one of the most complete games I've seen him play. The 23, 20, 16. But he had 8 deflections, 2 steals, 2 blocks. He was our defensive player of the game. I thought he was outstanding. CB, 4 of 8 from 3, shooting the ball with no hesitation, great confidence. Michael Porter, 24 and 7. So, to beat a team like OKC, Vic, it takes everybody. But obviously for a 17-year vet to have that kind of a game was tremendous, and I'm really happy for us.
Nikola stress you out at all with some of the inbound pass there?
No. Not at all. Yeah, I mean, it's they score, and there's no need for us to rush. You know what I mean? And we throw it ahead, and obviously, Peyton goes to the foul line. He doesn't make them. But the best part about that, Bennett, and you already know this, is that Peyton Watson misses 2 free throws. But on the other end, doesn't drop his head, isn't in his feelings. He makes a play at the rim against one of the favorites for MVP in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with a game-saving block. And that's what you love about Peyton Watson. And that was a huge, huge block, obviously. So we're proud of him for recovering after the free throws and helping us, give them their first loss.
What does it do for young players to come up big repeatedly, multiple times, back-to-back games like they did, and then those big moments later?
Well, your hope is that it just, gives them more and more confidence. That was a question that was asked, I think, by Vic pregame. Peyton hits a huge 3 in our last game to help us win. Tonight, he hits another big 3. He makes a game-saving block. He's in the game to close games. Like, you can't replicate that in any situation. Being in the game, close games, and now you're doing it against the undefeated team that's beaten us 4 straight times. So you hope for. I mean, I looked out there. I said, man, and that group was playing so well. I was going to get Russ back in, but man, CB and Julian and Michael and Peyton Nikola playing great. They got us a lead, and then you get Russ back in late. But you just hope it builds some character and some confidence.
You had 9 fast-break points at half, and you had 10 in the third quarter. And it seemed like when you guys would push the pace on them, that sped up their offense as well. Was that a big part of what you saw the turnaround in the third quarter?
Yeah, it was something that we stressed. If you can't play the number 1 defense in the NBA in the half court, it's just a losing proposition. They're too good. Obviously, I think in that first quarter, our turnovers were out of control. We had 18 for 23 in the game. That's an area that we have to clean up. But I felt, that was a message at halftime again, like, fellas, we have to get out and run against them. If it's a half-court game, it's in their advantage. So to finish with 21 fast break points and the turnovers got so much better in that second half, that cut down their break and that cut down their paint points. And, I felt if you can force them to play a half-court game, and we tried a lot of different things tonight. We zoned, we blitzed, we hit, knowing we were undermanned. I said going into the game, we have nothing to lose, everything to gain. Let's be aggressive. And our guys did a hell of a job of staying with it throughout.
So you got the ball. You got the sack in the third quarter.
Finally, a good question.
Yes. You're obviously making that case for Jokic, but are you also looking for a spot, or is that just happens?
No, I think it's a combination. Yeah, I mean, like I'd say 95% of my texts are, have a plan behind it. And so to your point, I feel like Nikola's getting beat up, and I got to fight. I mean, everything Nikola's done for this city, this team, this franchise, me, my family, I'm going to fight for that guy, and anybody else in our team. But it's also like, hey, man, I don't know what we were down at that point, but whatever the run is from that tech after, we got back in the game. And so you're hoping to kind of light a fire under a guy. Hey, let's keep fighting. We're not going to just kind of go gently into the good night. Let's fight and stay around and see what happens. And that's been a common theme. That's one thing. I'm not proud of the fact we haven't won the first quarter. I'm proud of the fact, though, we don't get down and we don't quit. We stay with it. And that's the sign of a champion, in my opinion.
Coach, you didn't necessarily shoot the ball poorly, but did it go into your head when they're missing a couple of layups that get easier in there and you guys are keeping it close?
Yeah, I don't know. They're a good team. They're not going to go away. They're going to stay with it. We had a couple of great possessions, and I told our players at halftime, I said, fellas, we don't have a margin of error tonight. And we got two key guys out. So we can't allow Shea to go coast to coast like he did in the second quarter. We can't allow Shea to drive away from the double team. We can't play great defense for 22 seconds and give him an offensive rebound for an easy putback. I think they had 18 second chance points. But, yeah, you can say it wasn't their night, but that second half, man, I thought our defense, we were flying around, covering for each other, and it wasn't always right, but we had a fly-around mentality and played with great multiple effort.
Coach, can you make a case that Jokic's defense is a lot better than average? Like, you put it in the second half, Shea dribbled the ball off his foot, got a turnover, felt the teaming on every play, he was just going all out.
Well, yeah, I mean, for me, I can't speak for anybody else, but I've been with him for 10 years now. And for anybody to say that Nikola Jokic is not a good defender, I would question their basketball intelligence, and I would question how much film they're really watching. Because you don't have to be athletic guy blocking shots and pinning them on the glass to be a good defender. You don't have to be a great athlete to be a good defender. Nikola Jokic has tremendous intelligence. He has the best anticipation I've ever seen, and he has a want and a will to win. And he's the anchor of our defense. We were top 8 last year in defense. And Nikola's contest numbers, deflection numbers, and you talk about it, all the pick and rolls, all the actions that he's put in, he's a thoroughbred. He's able to go play through all of that and make plays on the other end as well when he's getting doubled and triple teamed every night. So it's incredible. We know who Nikola is. I think he's a great defensive player. And I think he's proven that time and time and time again.
Porter 1 for 6 from the field at halftime. It seems like OKC's been pretty good at taking him out of his comfort zone at times. What were you guys able to do to kind of unlock him?
Well, yeah, well, I think Michael being aggressive, we ran a bunch of plays to get him looks, and I think they're a great defensive team. They have some really good defensive players, and if you're going to try to get somebody open, you have to screen. So Michael's setups, creating a lead, and the screen, creating some sort of separation. Michael at 6'10", and the way he shoots the ball, doesn't need a ton of it. And it was great to see him get going because that was one thing we said at half. Like, Russ had a good first half. We have Nikola. We need a third scorer. We need somebody else, so we're not going to Nikola every time down the floor. And Michael answered the bell, CB answered the bell, and I thought Julian had a couple of big plays. Again, 9 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds for Julian Strawther off the bench are great numbers for a kid who's still a rookie. Yeah, well, I think he's been incredible for us. You look at the offensive productivity tonight. I think defensively he's been a rock star. I mean, and what I love about Russell Westbrook, 17-year vet. Leopards don't change their spots, but he is trying so hard to be like disciplined. He's trying to do the things we're asking him to do, and I appreciate that so much because at 17 years in, a lot of times you are who you are. But he cares, man. He is so invested in this team and what he's bringing to this team, and he's so hard on himself. But I love the fact I can coach a guy like Russell Westbrook any day because he is a competitor and he's a tough dude, and I want him in my foxhole. Appreciate everybody.